Hey everyone, this is Pat Geek here on YouTube, also known as Shantae the Geek on Twitch. Welcome in. May the force be with you always. But first, I'm going to play something really quick.
What do you think you're doing, nerd? Did you just call me a nerd? Geek? Yeah, nerd.
Yes, I am a nerd. Bookworm, I'm studious. From my cerebral cortex to my gluteus. Back in kindergarten, I aced my college entrance exam. Now I'm no rocket scientist, but wait, I am. When I pour my alphabets, I get nothing but straight A's. My retainer and headgear connect to a back race. I got a pocket protector. I broke my glasses on purpose so I can tape them together. No matter what, it's tight stuff no one will see. You're a geek. That means you're just a hipster wannabe. That's right, I'm a geek. I got brains and a personality. I wear my glasses sincerely and my t-shirts ironically. There's some things you can't learn in a class, or else I'll sign you up for intro to how not to be a social outcast. You're just the early 2013. I was the cool form of uncool before uncool became a thing. I use an app to pair pork with the perfect Bordeaux. Too bad there's no app to neutralize your BO. While you're lost in second life, letting your fingernails go long, I'll be sticking up my iPhone, tablet, TV in your mouth. Bullying's not my thing, but I don't care. I look so good in chainmail that it's not quite as fair. Doesn't LARP stand for loser and reject party? I'd rather cosplay with hotties than play fake army. I tried Dungeons and Dragons once and I died of boredom, but I'll still kick your Assassin's Creed post-mortem. Mario Party's the only one you get invited to. Your life is like Skyrim, an endless quest of solitude. Ooh, you beat Angry Birds. You're not a gamer because you battle your friends with words. You click on cute icons, I execute commands. Do you really need a genius to teach you garage? I landed the first Rufflecopter and took an Orpheus when I was 12 because I'm an early adopter. I can wear Google Glass without looking like a dweeb. Okay, maybe not, but I can yelp with some good fuzzy. You need 16 gigs of RAM to watch a Steve Jobs doc? I keep an actual RAM in my PC. His name is Stock. I'm a new console. Your face is birth control. I troll bony sites. You look like an actual troll. I'm fluent in C++. Think you just suck. Can your iPhone autocorrect your dumb haircut? Hold on a second. Let me tweet this in.
All right. So today, you can tell and stuff that today and stuff is going to be my Star Wars series on the Geek Show. So today and stuff, I'm bringing my Star Wars talk, my Geek Show that I had on Twitch, and I'm bringing it to you guys on YouTube. And I'm going to start from the beginning of my topic and stuff. So it's going to be and stuff. Today we're going to talk about the Star Wars saga and everything, including with that.
Wow.
Correct, BB-8. So the Star Wars saga, also referred to as the Skywalker saga, is the main line of Star Wars films that began in 1977 by George Lucas, with Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, being the first film. While larger universe of stories and characters have evolved around it, the saga films tell the story of the Skywalker family through a set of 3 trilogies. The original trilogy ran from 1977 to 83, which was followed by the prequel trilogy from 1999 to 2005, and the sequel trilogy from 2015 to 2019. Chronologically, the story spans 67 years. It begins with Anakin Skywalker, the chosen one of Jedi prophecy, as the prequel trilogy charts his rise as Jedi Knight through his fall to the dark side of the Force, becoming AKA Darth Vader. Okay. The original trilogy tells the story of Anakin's children, Luke Skywalker and Leia Organa, as they fight against the Galactic Empire, and Luke saves Anakin from the dark side and becomes a Jedi in his own right. The sequel trilogy forces on Rey, a Force prodigy who is swept up into a new galactic conflict and faces off against Anakin's fallen grandson, Ben Solo, now known as Kylo Ren. Oh, there it is. As Kylo Ren, while becoming the first of a new generation of Jedi. The series was created by George Lucas, who, as the writer and director of A New Hope, directed more films in the Skywalker saga than any other person. Other saga film directors included Irvin Kershner, Richard Marquand, J.J. Abrams, and Rian Johnson. Le Brackett, Lawrence Kasdan, Michael Ardent, Abrams, writers on the films. Gary Kurtz and Howard G. Kazan produced the original trilogy. Rick McCausland produced the prequel trilogy, and Kathleen Kennedy produced the sequel trilogy. In story order, it goes Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Episode 2, The Attack of the Clones. Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Then, so those are the prequels. The original is New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. Sequel, The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and then The Rise of Skywalker. The 9 released films of the Skywalker saga began their destination with episode following by the chronological order displayed as a Roman numeral. Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, was originally released as Star Wars, as it was not known whether it would be followed by a sequel. Beginning with its April 10, 1981 re-release, it was renamed to its current title. The opening crawl of each film in the Skywalker saga follows with the same format. The introduction, a crawl begins with the blue text, "A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away," which is immediately followed by the Star Wars logo, and the slanted yellow text on Starfield summaries of immediately preceding off-screen action. While the typefaces vary slightly, these all follow the same overall general format. These crawls were inspired by the Flash Gordon series from George Lucas's childhood. There was a lot of aspects that George Lucas took from his childhood. He took aspects of Flash Gordon and westerns and stuff, and referred to Star Wars as his spaghetti western space theatrical play. So he melt the whole concept of spaghetti westerns with some aspects from Flash Gordon and melted it together. And stuff. So the Skywalker lineage, the prequel trilogy. Star Wars saga follows the Skywalker family through all 9 films, going from the original all the way to the sequels. Because the reason why I say it's like that, and a lot of other fans would say the sequel ends the whole Skywalker saga because of Luke still being in the sequels. So, and then he dies in there, so there that ends that whole Skywalker lineage, time frame lineage. And because also Ben Solo being a relative of the Skywalker line and being part of that Skywalker lineage also is why the sequels referred to as also the part of the Skywalker saga, because of Ben Solo and Luke still being involved. Okay, the prequel trilogy, 1999 to 2005. In Universe 32 BBY to 19 BBY, focuses on the protagonist Anakin Skywalker as he matures from 9-year-old Tatooine slave child to a Jedi Knight. The prequel trilogy also focuses on Skywalker's eventual wife, Padme Amidala, and his mentor, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and sets the groundwork and basis of the plot in the original trilogy. The sequel trilogy, Out of the Universe, OFU, Out of Universe, OFV, actually, Out of Universe, 2015 and 2019. In Universe, within the storyline, the time frame of this is 34 AB to 35 ABY, 34 to 35 ABY. Focuses on the scammage Rey as she discovers and trains with the Force, the ex-Stormtrooper Finn, the ace pilot Poe Dameron, and the antagonist Kylo Ren, or also known as Ben Solo, who is the son of Leia Organa and Han Solo, which before he went into the dark side, he was being trained as a Jedi under Luke Skywalker. There was a conflict between them two because Ben was already being influenced towards the dark side, and there was a conflict between the both of them. and Luke almost killed Ben, but didn't, backed off, and now you have Kylo Ren instead of Ben Solo. The planned number of saga films from interview to interview over the years, with potentially as many as 12 as far back as 1978. After Disney acquired Lucasfilms in 2012, their announced saga films will remain at 9 as they developed animated and live action television shows, web series, anthology films, a film series, and a trilogy. So Disney took George Lucas's concept of Star Wars and brought it into a newer light, in the sense Disney had the access to technology that George Lucas did not at the time. So it was a positive, but it was also a negative, because George Lucas wasn't included in a lot of the newer stuff, in a lot of the stuff that Disney put forward. They did not consider his ideas until later on, when they decided they decide, no, what, we do need his help, we do need his knowledge, and stuff. So it was later on when they eventually brought that forward and decided to actually go to him and go, hey, could you write this? Could you help produce this? Could you da 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 da? For the longest time, George Lucas did not want to come back into the Star Wars lore. He wanted to just leave it with Disney and just walk away. But especially because Disney turned their back and did not want his help. So he said, forget the lore. I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want to return into the films, nothing. Until Disney started developing the series, and it was based off of one of their movies that they did. It was the whole series based off of Rogue One, which was the Andor series. When Disney came into production and the productional idea of developing Andor, they approached George Lucas to write the script, at least for 2 episodes of the Andor series. He agreed, he did, and he stayed aboard throughout the whole creation of the Andor series. As not just as the screenwriter, as an additional screenwriter, but also as an advisor for the whole anthology of the planet Andor and everything like that, because Disney didn't really understand the planet Andor and the whole concept of it without George Lucas's advice. So now, since I went into this kind of in depth, and now we're going to go slowly into the different movies that are in the whole Skywalker saga, or the Star Wars sagas, which I refer to it as the Star Wars saga and stuff, because I'm going to talk about the whole Star Wars lore from the Phantom Menace all the way to and stuff, because I'm still gathering more research, more information to continue with this series that I'm going to do for you guys here on YouTube, because I did do bits and pieces of it on Twitch, but I want to do more in depth here, bring in more, start doing a little more and stuff like that with you guys here on YouTube and stuff, because I have a little more playway and more leeway that I can do here on YouTube with my lives here on the topics than I could on Twitch. So, because then I can just do these, and then you guys can come back and binge them as much as you want, all the other stuff, and it's a lot better. And these videos will permanently stay. I don't have to worry about them being like going, oh, okay, you can only keep fonts for this length of time, and then they're removed. This time with YouTube, it's permanent. So that's the positive thing. That's why I want to bring back a lot of my my episodes for my Geek show here so that they're permanently in a place for people to go back and rewatch them. So, get into what I was talking about. We're going to get into I didn't move it over. No, there it is. There it is. Okay, good. All right, so we're going to. Let's see here. Okay, so you think BB-8 about us going on with what we're doing? I totally agree. So let's get into episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Okay. Every saga has a beginning. And The Phantom Menace is that beginning, the original, the actual backstory beginning. Ends up is The Phantom Menace. Okay, The Phantom Menace is a 1999 film written and directed by no other but George Lucas, produced by Rick McCallum, and starring Liam Neeson, Ewan McGregor, Natalie Portman, Jake Lloyd, and Ian McDermott. It is the first chapter of the Star Wars prequel trilogy, the fourth theatrical Star Wars release overall, and chronologically the first film in the Star Wars saga, aka the Skywalker saga. The Phantom Menace was released in theaters on May 19th of 99, becoming the first Star Wars film since Return of the Jedi, which was released 16 years earlier. The release was accompanied by extensive media coverage and great fan anticipation. Despite mixed reviews from critics and fans, the film grossed $924.3 million worldwide, and making it the second highest grossing film when and adjusted for inflation. It was released on Blu-ray in September of 2011 and was re-released in theaters in 3D on February 10th, 2012. The film was the game that would primarily take place around the time of the prequel storyline. The success of the film allowed for next two chapters of the prequel trilogy, as well as a Star Wars clone film and television series. Turmoil has engulfed the Galactic Empire or Galactic Republic. The taxation of trade routes to the outlining star system is in dispute. Hoping to resolve the matters with a blockade of deadly battleships, the greedy Trade Federation has stopped all shipping to the small planet of Naboo. While the Congress of the Republic endlessly debates this alarming chain of events, the Supreme Chancellor has secretly dispatched two Jedi Knights, the Guardians of Peace and Justice, in the Galactic to settle the conflict. Plot summary. I had a bad feeling about this. I don't sense anything. It's not about the mission master. It's something else. Elusive. Obi-Wan Kenobi to Qui-Gon Jinn. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan prepare to fight their way out of the Trade Federation flagship. 32 years before the events of Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, there is a trade dispute between the Trade Federation and the outlining systems of the Galactic Republic, which has led to a blockade of the mid-rim planet of Naboo. Supreme Chancellor Finis Valorum, leader of the Galactic Senate, has secretly dispatched two Jedi, Master Qui-Gon Jinn and his Padawan Obi-Wan Kenobi, to serve as the ambassadors to the Federation flagship in order to meet with Viceroy Newt Gunray and resolve the dispute. Unknown to them, the Trade Federation is in league with the mysterious Darth Sidious, Dark Lord of the Sith, who secretly orders Gunray to invade Naboo to kill the two Jedi upon their arrival. When Gunray asked if that would be legal, Sidious said that he would ensure that it was. The Viceroy locks the Jedi in the meeting room and attempts to kill them with poison gas while having their ship, the Radiant 7, destroyed in the hangar, but they escaped after battling through squads of battle droids. Jin and Kenobi make their way to the command deck where Gunray is located, shielding himself behind blast doors. The Jedi are forced to flee upon the arrival of two destroyer droids and stow away aboard two separate Federation landing crafts, leaving for the surface of Naboo to begin the invasion. Back in the command deck, Queen Amidala contacts Gunray to express her disapproval of their blockade, with Gunray explaining that they wouldn't have done it without the approval of the Senate. When she asks about the ambassadors sent by the Chancellor, Gunray claims that they have received no such, leaving them startled and suspicious. Gunray ends communications with her and informs his aide that they should disable all communications on the planet. While Amidala is conversing with Senator Sheeves Palpatine regarding the recent attempt at negotiations and how Gunray claimed that they did not receive any ambassadors. Surprised Palpatine states that he had assured. Okay. That his ambassadors did arrive. However, Palpatine is unable to finish his sentence as his hologram flickers out. Naboo Governor Sayu Beblo suspects that the interruption of communications is a sign that an invasion from the Trade Federation is imminent. On the planet's surface, Qui-Gon saves native outcast Jar Jar Binks. Okay. Jar Jar Binks from being crushed by a Trade Federation MTT. Kenobi appears pursued by Staps and which are destroyed by Qui-Gon. Jar Jar Binks shows the two Jedi the way to an underwater Gungan settlement. Ottawa Gungan. Meanwhile, the Trade Federation occupies Thebes, the capital city in Naboo, and captures Queen Amidala along with the rest of the government. In Otto Gungan, the Jedi meet the Gungan leader Boss Nass and ask him to help the people of Naboo. But Nass refuses due to hate of the people of Naboo and sends him off in a Bongo submarine. They are attacked by an Opus sea killer and a Kolo clawfish, but both fish were eaten by a Sandu aqua monster. The Jedi with Binks and tow arrive in Theed and rescue Queen Amidala. They depart for Coruscant and rescue Azano in Coruscant, the Galactic Republic's capital planet, to ask for help from the Senate. As they attempt to run the blockade, the Queen's starship is damaged by Federation battleships, but an asteroid droid named R2-D2 managed to repair it and they narrowly escape. Due to the damage to the ship's hyperdrive, okay, there's that one that I gave you. Oh, hold on a second. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Hyperdrive sustained in the attack. The Jedi decided to land on the nearby planet Tatooine for repairs. We're searching for a new hyperdrive generator. They befriend young Anakin Skywalker, a slave boy whose master is Watu, a Tondorian junk dealer. Watu has the required parts in stock, but Qui-Gon is unable to purchase them as Republic credits are worthless on Tatooine. Anakin races ahead of Sebulba during the Puta Putu So during the Bunta E pod race. Anakin is gifted with piloting and mechanical abilities and has built an almost completed droid named C-3PO. Qui-Gon senses a strong presence of the Force in Anakin and feels that he may be the chosen one, the one who will fulfill a prophecy by bringing balance to the Force. By entering Anakin into a pod race, Qui-Gon orchestrates a gamble in which the boy alone, since Qui-Gon was able to include the youth's mother in the bargain, will be released from slavery while also acquiring the parts needed for their ship.
Maybe we got
No, you had it on when you came in here upset and you took it off your head, pissed off. Just go do runs and I'll look for it after my podcast. After my drink. Okay. Okay. And also acquiring the parts needed for their ship. The night before the race, Qui-Gon does a blood test on Anakin, discovers that the boy's midichlorian reading is off the charts. He has more midichlorians than Yoda himself. Anakin wins the race, defeating his rival Sebulba, and joins the team as they prepare to leave for Coruscant, while Qui-Gon plans to seek permission from the Jedi High Council to train Anakin to be Jedi. Meanwhile, Darth Sidious sends his apprentice Darth Maul to kill the two Jedi and capture the Queen. Maul appears just as the group is leaving the planet and duels with Qui-Gon. The fight is cut short when Qui-Gon escapes his black-robed assassin by jumping on board the Naboo starship as it takes off. Amidala and Palpatine plead before the Senate to intervene with Naboo's crisis. On Coruscant, Qui-Gon informs the Jedi Council of the mysterious attacker he encountered on Tatooine, coming to the conclusion that his attacker is a Sith. Later, being a religious, the latter mean a religious order who were followers of the dark side of the Force and that had been extinct for over a millennium. Much to the shock of the Jedi Council, Qui-Gon also informs the Council about Anakin, hoping that he could be trained as a Jedi. After testing the boy, deliberating with one other, Council refuses, deeming him too old for training according to the Jedi Code. They are also concerned that they sense much fear in the boy and that he has a clouded future. Meanwhile, Senator Palpatine meets the Queen Amidala to warn of corruption in the Senate and advises that she may have to call for a vote of no confidence in the advice that she in Supreme Chancellor Valorum when their petition to the Senate is refused. Amidala sees no alternative but to do just that. Palpatine is among the candidates to become new Supreme Chancellor. The Queen later announces it to Palpatine that she will return to their home planet to rebel the invasion of her people by herself. She is frustrated by the Senate's liberation and lack of action, and feels that even if Palpatine is elected Chancellor, it will be too late. The Jedi Council sends the two Jedi to accompany the Queen back to Naboo, hoping to shed light on any Sith involvement. Okay, everyone, I'm going to switch. I'm gonna switch things around a little bit and relax and like that for a moment. Give myself a little break for a moment here. But I'm gonna keep going and so like that. But I need to pull out something to grab something to drink and have a little tobacco break. And I'll be right back. I'm going to put my okay, everyone. Before we get back to uh, continuing on, I just want to remind you guys that on my Twitch channel, which I will, because I need to relink and stuff like that and stuff like that. But on my Twitch channel, I do these community challenges and stuff like that within my stream. If my viewers and stuff like that activate it, because I have a special channel point redemption on my Twitch channel where I eat one of these per redemption. I'm also I'm going to start introducing these. And I do have one new challenge and stuff. If I get a sub or a gifted sub, I eat one of these guys. But that's only on my Twitch. I am going to be getting the Harry Potter beans and also the Bean Boozle. That's coming, and so that'll be coming to my Twitch channel, and I'm also going to be bringing in some chat bots and stuff like that to show up in here and all that. So, okay. All right. Okay, where was it? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right, R2. Boss Nass at the Gungan secret place. Amidala back on Naboo attempts to locate the Gungans at Otagunga, but Jar Jar, after searching the city, informs them that it has been abandoned. He then leads them to the Gungan sacred place. And so yeah. Let's throw a little raise here. Okay. Okay. So where he is certain the Gungans will be. The Gungans are initially distrustful until the handmaiden Padme reveals herself as the true queen and humbly begs for their help. She negotiates with Boss Nass to form an alliance and unite their people in the battle against the Trade Federation. Captain Panaka and several other security forces were also dispatched to rescue. Anyone imprisoned in the Trade Federation's prison camps, although they were only able to successfully extract a handful. So, next, Amidala informs Qui-Gon and Nas of her battle strategy. With the Grand Gungan army acting as distraction to the bulk of the main Trade Federation forces. Forces, the Naboo resistance Captain Paneke, and the Jedi will infiltrate Theed via a secret entrance located inside one of the waterfalls. Newt Gunray, hearing reports of the Grand Army's assemble, informs orders Gunray to wipe out both the Gungans and the Naboo as the Trade Federation prepares for battle. Already. Captain Ross Tropas orders the Gungan Grand Army to activate their shields, which protects them from ranged attack. OOM-9 has his tanks fire first, but seeing them fail to penetrate the powerful shield, orders them to cease fire. Dalte Delphine gives the command to activate the battle droids. These droids march through the shield and open fire on the Grand Army, soon destroying the shield generator, as the tanks cause heavy casualties among the Gungans. The defeat for the Alliance seems imminent. However, victory comes when young Anakin Skywalker accidentally takes control of an N1 starfighter and goes on to destroy the Federation's droid control ship from the inside, killing Dalte Delphine and rendering the droid army useless. Meanwhile, Amidala and her force fight their way back into the royal palace and capture Newt Gunray. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan fight Darth Maul during the Battle of Naboo. At the same time, in a Theed hangar bay, Darth Maul engages in combat with the two Jedi using his double-bladed lightsaber. The battle moves from the hangar across a series of catwalks to the Theed Generation Complex. During the fight, the Obi-Wan is separated from his master by being kicked off a catwalk. He grabs the edge of another catwalk below, jumps back up to where Qui-Gon and Maul continue to fight. By this time, Qui-Gon and Maul have become separated by a force field in the entrance to the generator room. Obi-Wan catches up to them, but is divided from his master by 4 force fields. When the force fields deactivate, Jin and Maul continue their battle while Kenobi remains divided from the battle by 1 force field when they all reactivate. After a long, lengthy duel, Maul suddenly stuns Qui-Gon by hitting him on the chin with his lightsaber handle, then rams his blade straight into Qui-Gon's torso, mortally wounding him. Devastated, Obi-Wan redoubles his assault upon Maul and chops the Sith's lightsaber in half. But Maul eventually overpowers and nearly kills Kenobi by force pushing him over the edge of a seemingly bottomless reactor shaft. Obi-Wan saves himself from falling when he manages to grab onto a pipe protruding from the wall of the shaft. Maul kicks the lightsaber into the pit and prepares to finish him off. After Obi-Wan calms himself, he uses the Force to leap out of the shaft and over Maul's head while summoning his fallen master's lightsaber to his hand. He lands behind the surprised Maul and cuts him in half. Maul's upper and lower body fall into the shaft. Obi-Wan reaches Qui-Gon moments before he dies as Qui-Gon instructs Obi-Wan to train Anakin to become a Jedi, reiterating that Anakin is the chosen one. Obi-Wan gives his word that he will. Qui-Gon dies, leading to Obi-Wan to grieve for his deceased master. The newly elected Chancellor Palpatine arrives to congratulate Queen Amidala on her victory as Newt Gunray is sent to stand trial for his crimes. The Gungans and Naboo celebrate their victory. Later, in a room in the Queen's palace, Yoda confers upon Obi-Wan the rank of Jedi Knight. Kenobi argues with Yoda about his promise to Qui-Gon regarding Anakin's training. Yoda is convinced it is dangerous to train the boy, but tells Kenobi that the Council has allowed Skywalker to become Kenobi's apprentice. Later that evening, in a temple in Theed, Qui-Gon's body is cremated, and Mace Windu and Yoda agree that the Sith are definitely to blame for the tragedy. As there are only ever 2 Sith at a given time, a master and an apprentice. Both masters believe that one must still remain, but they don't know that there were 2. The Naboo and Gungans organized a great victory celebration on the streets of Theed in front of the palace. Obi-Wan and Anakin are present. The younger now wearing formal Jedi attire, and in his hair is a special braid, the mark of a Jedi Padawan. The little hair coming like this is a mark of a Jedi Padawan. The film ends with Queen Amidala presenting a gift of appreciation and friendship to Boss Nass and the Gungan people. But yeah, and stuff. I wanted to go as far as I did in this live. I will be returning later for another live on my end, and then I'm going to be bringing you guys two separate lives on two different channels, two different YouTube channels, mine and Leon22, also on Twitch, Leon082284. We are going to be doing the Geek Live podcast live here on YouTube, here on YouTube. So keep your eyes on that. So, as I always love to end my streams and stuff, but this time I'm going to end it with a special song played before I end the stream. So, and this song, it's not Star Wars related or anything like that, but it's a song that I started playing at the beginning of my stream, and I'm going to use it to end it. Yeah.
What do you think you're doing, nerd? Did you just call me a nerd?
Geek? Yeah. Nerd. Yes, I am a nerd.
Studious, from my cerebral cortex to my gluteus. Back in kindergarten, I aced my college entrance exam. Now I'm no rocket scientist, but wait, I am. When I pour my alphabets against nothing straight A's, my retainer and headgear connect to a back race. I got a pocket protector. I put my glasses on purpose so I can keep them together. From acrobatics and tight stuff no one will see. You're a geek. That means you're just a hipster wannabe. That's right, I'm a geek. I've got brains and a personality. I wear my glasses sincerely and my t-shirts ironic. There's some things you can't learn in a class, or else I'll sign you up for intro to how not to be a social outcast. You're just so early 2013. I was the cool form of uncool before uncool became a thing. I use an app to pair pork with the perfect Bordeaux. Too bad there's no app to neutralize your BO. While you're lost in second life, letting your fingernails grow long, I'll be sticking up my iPhone tablet TV in your mouth. Worry's not my thing, but I don't care. I look so good in chainmail that it's not Renaissance fair. Does it large stand for loser and reject parties? I'd rather cosplay with hotties than play fake armies. I tried Dungeons and Dragons once and I died of boredom, but I'll still kick your Assassin's Creed post-mortem. Mario Party's the only one you get invited to. Your life is like Skyrim, an endless quest of solitude. Ooh, you beat Angry Birds. You're not a gamer because you battle your friends with words. You click on cute icons, I execute commands. Do you really need a genius to teach you garage? I landed the first Razzlecopter and took it over when I was 12 because I'm an early adopter. I can wear Google Glass without looking like a dweeb. Okay, maybe not, but I can yelp with some good fuzzy. You need 16 gigs of RAM to watch a Steve Jobs doc? I keep an actual RAM in my PC. That famous stock. I'm a new console. Your face is birth control. I troll bony sites. You look like an actual troll. I'm fluent in C++. Think you just suck. In your iPhone, autocorrect your dumb haircut. Hold on a second. Let me tweet this infographic I made that illustrates the fact you'll never get to procreate. I just haven't met a woman of a high enough caliber. The only dates you have are on your Google calendar. You're losing this battle. Your phone sure won't help. In the future, you'll randomly access this memory and crap yourself. Did I mention robot? No one gives a shatner about their skinny jeans. Do you even know what URL means?